Good morning on this happy Monday morning. How is everyone? Thank you for showing up on time as usual. I know for some of you this is very early, and I truly hope I make it worth your while to be up. I understand. I'm tired too. I've been awake since 3 o'clock. So this live may end a little bit early because my nap will be calling me before 9:30. So today we're going to talk about Elena, which is Heartbreaker Risk Taker. Fei Fei, who is now Kit. Medina. You guys told me about Cassie. I watched her several times, watched videos, and um yeah, she needs to be talked about. Christina has made her triumphant return, pretending to not want to be with her abuser while she runs to him every chance she gets. We're going to talk about Pookie and her announcement the other night. We're going to talk about Becky and how Becky can't pay her bills but wants to spend almost 2 grand for a puppy that's 5 months old. And then Timothy Nash and his nonsense. And I have a little bit of raising the consciousness on a few items. And we're also going to talk about a couple people who are back, making sure you have the new name it app that they go live on. And then we're going to do our motivation affirmation and what we can do for self-care in 1 minute. And then it'll be over. So welcome in everyone. Again, I appreciate that you are here. If you are a member of the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, stick around. And if you like what you hear and see, join the team and hit the Daily Heart Me. My one request is that you like the live until you feel the heart's tail. Every time I change a photo. And for most of you, what is for breakfast? A cup of coffee. And then I'll probably take a nap and have lunch. So, the two reasons why I like for you to tap, I don't care about the number at the end. What I care about is that it pushes out the live to the FYF, which is the For You feed, which a lot of people call the For You page. And then to also make sure that we are able to maintain the live, but because we know that people don't like when we're telling the truth about them and the lies they tell, so they would like to get us taken down, but just not today. Correct. I agree. So, who do I want to start with? This is going to be a very interesting day. I think I want to start with. Oh, I left somebody off. Hold on, guys. Okay, I apologize. So, Miss Elena here, heartbreaker risk taker. Granny Annie, are you trying to come up or did you just hit it by mistake? Oh, thank you. Okay, so Elena, heartbreaker risk taker. So she is still doing the same thing, asking for money for food and gas. This is my problem. There are three people in that van that get a Social Security check. Thank you, Erica. They get a Social Security check. They also get food stamps. And so, even though their food stamps aren't meant to come, I think she said until the end of the month, which how much later in the month can we get? What are they doing with their money? I told y'all before, and I think this is true. I think that they spend the money on what they want to spend it on. They get hotel rooms, whatever the case may be. And then when they don't want to spend any more of their money, they come to TikTok and beg for it. And this is the funny thing. Instead of being woman enough to answer your question, whenever the questions are directed in a way that she would have to be truthful, she ends the live and comes back. No, she is not married. She has, I guess she refers to him as her fiance. And I believe, isn't it her brother, her sister, her mother, and then her and the man she's with? And I believe the sister, the mom, and Elena all get a Social Security check. Now, oh, and the father in law? My goodness. So, this is the thing though. You're not paying rent. You're not paying for internet. You're not paying for electricity or water or any of cable, none of it, right? Y'all are literally staying in a van. At least that's what you want people to believe. So, how is it that three Social Security checks can't get you through the entire month? Correct, Jody. Now, I can't remember now where they used to live, but I believe it was the Midwest. And they made the decision to sell everything. He got rid of his pet, you name it, to move to the state of Washington. They didn't have anywhere to go. That's true. And three dogs. I don't know. Is it Jama? I don't know, but what I do know is that the other day, you could hear the dog wanted water. He was like lapping up whatever was in there, and she asked somebody else in the van to go get the water, and they were like, "No, you go get it." And they kept going back and forth, and then she was like, "Fine, the dogs won't have water." Excuse me? What do you mean, fine, the dogs won't get water? Like, why would you even allow that conversation to happen on a public platform? Because now I feel like everybody in that van is trash because that is selfish beyond necessary. Y'all don't do nothing else. Please, somebody get rid of See My Page. Y'all aren't watching. Y'all don't see it. Because this is now my third or fourth time seeing it. Thank you. I muted it as well. Make sure when you're gonna block, you mute first. Mama Bear. Maybe one day, Mama Bear, because I'm probably going to need more before too long. So, anyway, the fact that all you gotta do is go and get water. You could go get water out of a public bathroom to give it to the dogs. But it also concerns me that every time you come on, that's what you're asking for. Are the dogs being fed properly? Because that always bothers me. You don't have food to eat, and I'm supposed to believe that the dogs do too? Okay. So, wait, hold on 1 second. The other thing, it makes it clear to me, they're also not trying to get anywhere stable. Like nothing seems to ever change about their situation. It's always the same. She's laying in the back of the van, sitting in the back of the van. Mom is somewhere. Boyfriend is somewhere talking crap behind the scenes. It's just a weird set of circumstances. But she is always the one begging. Nobody else. So I'm like, you want other people to sacrifice from whatever they may need, what their family may need, or even what they might want to do in the future. So they need to save that money to give it to you. But where is your sacrifice? I don't see it. I see as soon as whenever you want it, and it's any time of the month, you come to TikTok and want to cash in on the friendships you've made. But this is what got me. Somebody asked her where she was. Wait, let me take it 10 steps back. So they were going to Washington State and got out there, realized, I don't know what they realized. I don't know if they thought that the housing list was shorter or it would be less expensive. I don't know what they thought. But within several weeks of them getting there, or shorter, they wanted to go back to the Midwest. They wanted to go back to where they came from. Okay, sometimes things don't work out. I thought that was crazy to do, but it happens, right? But to put your elderly mother through all of that, again, and the dogs, and the rest of the family, but okay. So every time she's asking for gas, I'm like, okay, they're moving closer, closer, closer. It's been months now. When somebody asked her yesterday where she was, she still said Washington State. If you're still in Washington State, why do you need all of this gas? Y'all are still in the same state you've been in. Where are you going? And I was like, wait a minute. You're still in the state of Washington? Like, what are we doing? Good morning to everybody coming in. Thank you, thank you. You know, the gifts are appreciated, but they are not necessary. I would do this regardless. So, you mean to tell me for the last 8, 9, 10 weeks, you haven't gone back home? $50 wouldn't get them 10 miles down the road. Well, y'all have made some horrible decisions. But in all of this time, thank you, Every Design. By this time, they should be out of the state of Washington. And after I said that, asked that question, within minutes, she got off the live. Right. They drive a van, not a bus. For fact. It's ridiculous. It literally, like, one of the, what do you call it? The common denominator of today's list is that they literally don't care. And what they anticipate is that their friends aren't going to care, that the other people in there are going to be new and not know the story, or if you've been around for a minute, you're not going to remember the story. Well, when it comes to this, my mind is a steel trap, but just in case it's not, that's what I have notes for. Right, Rissa? Like, y'all are in a van. Where is all of this money going? And to know that you wanted to leave Washington State, but you are still there after all this time, after begging for all of this money. And again, 3 Social Security checks. How did you run out of food? Now, it is a lot of them, don't get me wrong. But then my question is, if you're still in Washington State, what state are you getting SNAP benefits from? Is my question. But then, and again, we're not getting into the politics of this, we're just getting into the fact that according to all news outlets, food stamps are going to be cut off in the month of November because the feds sent a letter to all of the states saying that it's cut off. Now, this is the trick. And I was watching, I don't necessarily want to call it a podcast, but I was watching somebody talking about this in depth. And one of the things that she said was that some Democratic states may still give it out of state funds, but that Republican states, to honor Donald Trump's request, won't give it. What are y'all going to do? Do you think that at a time when everybody is seeing the value of their dollar decline, that I'm going to feed you before I feed my own family? And for people who sacrifice in that way, please explain why you would do it to a stranger on the internet. I don't get it. By the way, Kat must have gotten her account back last night. She literally was on all night long. And she was asking for $15 so she could get a room and get out of this toxic situation. Why would you get a room at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you'd have to be out at 11? Virginia's doing emergency funding. Yeah, there's going to be some states that make it happen for their people. And there's other states who are going to be like, oh, well, we're not. Cat is a mess. I didn't have her on the list today because I did it last night before I initially fell asleep. But while I was awake, it was on, off, on, off. And somebody was like, if I do such and such and such and such, I'll be able to give you the money. Why would anybody give you money for a hotel room at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning? Make it make sense. And this is what I mean. They don't even feel the necessity to make sense, to remotely tell the truth, to stick by what they're saying, and they feel like there should be no repercussions for it. I don't get it. Well, I don't know what their problem is, but TikTok as an ATM is going to shrink dramatically because no matter where you are in the system, we are getting to a point where anybody who even had an extra $100, $200 at the end of the month don't have it anymore. Or even if they have it, they're not going to be so keen to give it away because they don't know what's coming next. Daisy May, so do I. Okay, Jama. I'm not. So when you come back, tell me how to say your name. I like to say things. Yep, Thanksgiving is coming. Right, Mrs. May. We're all going to feel it. And I want you to think about this. And I think I said this on Friday. I'm not sure if I remember that. But okay. I want you to think about grocery prices are already high. If grocery stores do not have the injection of money that comes from food stamps, what do you think is going to happen to the prices of groceries? What do you think? Like, they're no longer going to get as much money as they used to get straight from the government. So hold your horses. Be very careful about what you spend your money on because this may get worse before it gets better. So I know most of us are silent watchers, but if you're in there on an account where you don't care if it gets blocked because you have others, tell the truth while you're in there. Tell the truth while you're in there because they run from the truth. Or you have a Josh and Ida or a Medina who block immediately. They always say, I don't care about what you have to say. Say whatever you want to say. And the moment you say something, blocked. I thought you didn't care. I thought what anybody said or thought about you didn't matter. But you seem highly concerned with somebody being in your chat saying something about you. And just for the record, again, I didn't have them up here, but last night they went live and their Cash App was like the little blurb before you, when you come in the live and you see, and it was like, if anybody would like to bless us, this is our CA. What? I thought we weren't doing that. And then his excuse was something like, well, other people do it, so why shouldn't I do it? I'm telling y'all, they claim they're doing good and they're destined for greatness, but they keep, and the other thing is their content is now solely complaining about other people. How people mistreat them, what's going on with awareness, this, that, and the third. I thought none of this was supposed to, I thought you didn't give a fuck. Did he make that video? I don't, we're going to just do what we're going to do. We're destined for greatness. I have never seen someone destined for greatness that spends all their time talking about somebody that doesn't like them. You have however many followers and you have 17, 20, 31 people in your life. Missy Murphy, I know. It's funny because I used to not curse at all. I was raised in a house that there was no cursing. Even when my mother would say ass, like a jackass, she would whisper it. It wasn't until I got in the workforce that and started working for a man with a sailor's mouth that I started cursing. So it's kind of funny. It's funny to me. Yeah, of course they're talking about nonsense. But I have lost all respect for two reasons. One, Josh promised me a conversation and then let his wife lie about it and say that we didn't. And again, you're supposed to be real and upfront and, you know, whatever else, but you allowed your wife to lie and say that you never said you would talk to me. And then for people who don't like body shaming and etc., that's exactly what she did to me. So you got to make it make sense. Now, let me show you one thing. Gabby is back. If you are unaware, even on this account, she made a post saying that she was going to delete TikTok. But clearly she hasn't because she's on all the time. Good morning to everybody coming in. So the account is Her Fight Unfolded, all one word. Yeah, I saw her last night too doing diamond art and whispering. When did she ever whisper before? But now she's trying to pretend like, oh, I'm so concerned about my family. She's still on from yesterday? Wow. But she has two accounts that she promotes. One is her YouTube channel. So I put that there. That's Gabrielle Jacobson. And then she has an account on Favorited. Gabby Jacobson. Wow, that means she's been live all night long. Now how's she gonna get up and take care of her little boy? I don't know, Scram Nana. I have no idea. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, she has her little boy back. Aaron is home. She said last night he was back. Offer one is at 7. Okay. So who has him? Oh, she had a visit. So then what was she whispering for last night? No, I doubt her mom got him. I doubt that highly. Offer one is awesome. Wow. It's because this is the thing. The other day, she was talking about how she potty trained him. And somebody in the question was like, you potty trained him. And I was like, if he's potty trained, that happened in foster care, which is what made me think that he was back. And then I saw her live and he was there. He was taken away temporarily. Wow. That's Mashigana. Who said that? Okay, Barry. So if he isn't there at night, what are you whispering for? Because when he was there, you didn't whisper? Yo. They had 2 hours of visitation yesterday. That's nuts. Well, anyway, this is the account she's going live on. Her fight unfolded, and from her at is from Victory the Voice. No, it's not unsupervised because Danny was there, and wasn't her mother there too? So I don't think it's unsupervised. That is crazy. But she's gonna give away her diamond art. Who wants your diamond art? Yo, Danny can't supervise. Actually, it's been weeks. It has been weeks. Mom wasn't there, so then who's the... Where's Aaron? Like, now I want to know. Is he still there? Who wants to pay you for your diamond art? Right. I could see if you had an undone diamond art and you were like, I want to give this away to somebody. The whole point of getting diamond art is that you get to do it. Like, girl, are we like, what are we? Listen, it is a desperate need for attention. Good morning, princess. I don't know how Aaron does it, which tells me that he's a simpler person. A similar person. Yep, just like the book she wrote. Her pamphlet. Wait, come on. Okay. Let's move on to who? I didn't have her on there, but I was prepared to talk about her. So, Carla has been living in hotels for like a year. And I told y'all that she used God a lot to amass her following. And whenever she needs something, needs money, whatever the case may be, she will bring God up again. But she didn't want to do that anymore. She wanted to do content like about her life. And so, yes, please tap, tap, tap until you see the heart's tail. I've changed the photo. Oh, I've been talking about her for weeks. Hold on, guys, because this gingerbread man thing is getting on my nerves. 1 second. Okay. So, you guys know I don't like when people use the Bible, quote the Bible, whatever the case may be, in their attempt to scam people out of money. I don't like it. But someone told her about Twitch and how you can get more money from Twitch than you can from TikTok. Now, she tries to say that God has told her not to beg in comments, etc., that he's going to provide for her, rattle, rattle. When the truth of the matter is she had a man providing for her. I cannot say what the nature of their relationship was, but what I can say is the moment that it seemed like he wanted a form of repayment, I don't know what kind, and she was like, absolutely not. He no longer allowed her to use his credit card. And one of the things that happened was she was like, in her mind, she thought that he was sent by God. I tell you all the time, if you believe in God, then you believe in the devil. And sometimes the devil knows what we want just like God does. He knows how to send us a distraction. But when you are taking advantage of people to your own benefit, you really expect God to be the one blessing you? Really? So the other day, she was sitting she was sitting in a room with a mask on. And I was like, oh Lord, is she going to try to say she's sick and that's why she needs money? Mind you, the entire time that she was using his credit card, she never tried to get a job because her excuse is always, if I don't get the money and I have to move out, I have to leave work to get my things. But I watched you day after day after day have a room. So what did you do when you had 3 or 4 or 5 days covered? Well, she likes to say that one of the reasons why she can't work is that she got very sick in the apartment that was being paid for by an agency because there was mold, right? If the agency was paying for you to live somewhere and there was mold, why would they cut you off? So she actually got somebody to send her an air purifier. She claims that she eats really healthy. But my thing is this, when you are relying on other people to eat, you can't buy the most expensive organic, etc., etc. You got to buy what you can afford. And then I wrote down, I think she's sitting in the lobby. Because then I realized she had a luggage rack next to her. And her Wi-Fi was really bad. And I was like, that's because once you check out, they remove your access to their Wi-Fi. Then she literally was sitting there with her eyes closed when there weren't, it was like 2, maybe 3 of us in there. No acknowledgement, eyes closed. And then later on, she was like, I'm so tired. How are you so tired and you just got out the hotel room? But of course, she wants us to believe she doesn't get any sleep unless it's during the day. So once she got a couple of names in there that she recognized, she starts with the sob story. But you were just falling asleep a second ago. So she starts off by saying that the workers are walking past her, so she's hoping she doesn't get kicked out. As soon as her friend Daniela came in, she got up and started explaining. That's exactly what my notes say. Good morning, Connie. So then she tried to say that the only hotel she could afford was in a dangerous neighborhood. Now, I can't tell you how every time she needs money, we get a new story. So one story was she literally slept outside of a hotel. The valet guy was like, listen, I see your situation. And this was in Los Angeles, she said. And he was like, let me go get you breakfast. They go to breakfast, and then he's like, I'll get you a room. They get to the motel, and she's like, I had an eerie feeling. Well, did you think he was just going to do it out the kindness of his heart? You can't be that slow. So she was able, in that situation, she was able to call a friend. The friend ordered her an Uber and gave her a hotel room. Oh, thank you, Granny Annie. You know I know that's you as soon as it happens. Thank you, my dear. But she's concerned about the hotels being dangerous. But if you can afford it, why wouldn't you go there? People go there all the time. There are people I bet that live there with their kids. But your problem is that you don't want to stay there because you feel like you're above it. She's like, this process has made me so humble. No, it hasn't. Because you believe that you deserve other people to take care of you so that whoever is giving you money, they have to go to work to earn it, but you get to sit in the hotel room and relax. It's been a year. And she's like, God hasn't made a way for me because you're supposed to make a way and give something for God to bless. And she keeps saying, God keeps telling me because he's not letting anything else work out that I'm supposed to do social media. Well, ma'am, social media isn't working out for you either. Let me suggest that you find something else. So there was a young lady that came in and was like, hey, how are you? Do you remember me? And Carla was literally like, do I know you? Like, attitude immediately. And the girl was like, yeah, I paid for you. So she was like, there's a hotel room down the street from where we met. That's only $300 a week. And Carla was like, when did I meet you? How about this young lady found Carla in the same situation she was in that day and paid for her to get a room? And Carla had no idea who she was. Yes, please pray for Jamaica. Apparently, the Hurricane Melissa has become a Category 5. And they said that a human could outwalk the hurricane. It's moving that slow. So it is going to be devastating, especially in the country areas where there isn't a lot of infrastructure. And apparently it's supposed to get bad in the cities as well. And they were saying how you can hide from wind, but you have to run from water. So please, I don't see that being. I pray that it moves quickly, but it is not forecasted. Thank you for reminding me of that. Y'all know I watch a lot of news. All right. But this is my thing. So this woman paid for you to get into a hotel room, supported you, and you don't have a clue who she is. Tell me that like none of these people matter. They only matter in the moment. And the longer they get from that moment, the less they care. And then she had to say to her, "Oh, I'm no longer in the Midwest." Well, I told y'all weeks ago that she tried to give a story about how she left court one day. She checked her accounts and she had $900 in there. And that she used it to buy luggage to pay for her hotel in Tennessee, fly to the Midwest, stay in a hotel there, and that's where she was. And then later on, she let it slip that she was still in Tennessee, which she called Nashville an ungodly city. And that's why she needed to leave. So to find out that you're still there, when you lie about something you don't have to lie about, I don't believe the other things you say. Because you could have just said, "I'm still in Tennessee." You didn't have to say where. You didn't have to get specific. But to add in God in your lie, yeah. You don't have any, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have any respect for his authority. Because I'm talking about her. Who asked me that question? Okay, I'm talking about her and the fact that she takes advantage of people. So you have to go to work and give her money, but she doesn't have to work to take care of herself. And when I'm talking about somebody, I have their picture up so people know who I'm talking about. They can also see her name and her @ so that at any time they can go watch her for themselves so they don't have to take my word for it. But I'm glad you're here because I want you to stick around because I want you to understand that I don't just talk about one person. Today is probably going to be 9 or 10. But the common denominator is that they want to be taken care of by other people and not take care of themselves. Good morning, Manders. So stick around. But that's why her picture is there, because I'm absolutely talking about her. So she said she had $80 in her bank account, but the hotel she wants to go to is $130 a night with tax. Well, baby, you can want it, but you can only get it when you can afford it. And it's nobody else's responsibility on this planet to make it happen for you. Well, she's in Nashville. So the hotels are going to be expensive. When she got up to 9 people, and that tells you what a low number it was. When she got up to 9 people, she started crying. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ashley. When she got up to 9 people, she started crying. And I wrote down, how long did you think this thing of using TikTok as an ATM was going to last? And she ended up getting off. She probably got some money because I haven't seen her since. But she goes live. when she needs money. White Sox. You were just asleep. Okay, you can sit right here. 9, the magic number for tears. I don't know. But I really think that it was, they're saying, good morning, White Sox. Please find somewhere to go. Okay, if you want me to rub you, you have to sit right here, buddy. I got the drops in his eye one more time. And then I made him stay with me until it was over, and I rubbed on him. And so, but as soon as he sees me reach for the drawer, he's like, I'm out. Oh, thank you, thank you. They like you, White Sox. I don't know why. Oh, you can hear him purring again? You make them think that you're such a good kitty. And you are so bad. He sounds like a tiger. Yeah. He thinks he's a tiger in here. He thinks he runs things. He does not. Oh no. Okay. Might as well do her next. So y'all can blame yourselves for this one because he is spoiled. Because you guys are the ones who told me to watch. So he's the mascot. Oh, White Sox, you're the mascot. Anyway, yes, please tap, tap, tap. I've changed the photo. Tapping is clapping. Y'all are funny. Really? Well, Casey, I'm not really sure how you say it, was brought to my attention because she has a very similar attitude to Sheena. She's married, her husband works out of town, and she acts like people owe her to rise in the ranks. No, I have not, a little bit. And similar to Sheena, she's rude, she's ungrateful. It's very clear. And it cracks me up because they like to say, I'm doing nothing different than the other people who are battling. Well, that can't possibly be true because we're not talking about every battler. I scroll past 95% of the time. But the other thing she does is that she nods out from time to time. Right, them fragments. She nods out from time to time, and I watched her do it, and there are videos of her doing it. And then the next day she comes on and is like, you guys are so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Well, then explain the nodding out. Explain it to us. Tell us what happens that's what has to happen. One day she was trying to say she slurs her words, and she couldn't even get it out. I wouldn't have never posted that video. Because you're slurring, saying slurring. Make it make sense. She thinks she's big shit, though. She thinks she's tough. And her husband's sitting in the background, just like Sheena's, talking a bunch of shit, especially to women. Like, go to work, bro. Nobody's afraid of you. Nobody. But then what got me was that yesterday she was like, I was trying to get the fragment, guys. We need four. What do we need? And she looks at him like, does he battle? Because how would he know? And she's like, oh, we need four galaxies, right? We need four galaxies, right? You saw me get blocked. But then you also saw me come back and say blocking me is symbolic, baby girl. You could not block me enough. And she's like, yep, go ahead and make another account. Boo, they are already made. You won't know what direction I'm coming from. So, according to her, her husband works out of town Monday to Friday. He comes home on Friday. He leaves Monday morning at 5 a.m. to drive 4 hours to work, whatever it was. And she was like, I really tried to get the fragment, but I'm not going to get it. And I need to spend time with my husband, so I'm going to go. Okay. But did she go? No. She kept talking about the fragment. And then I don't even know what I said yesterday, to be completely honest. I was in my own little world all weekend. But girl, I've been watching. I've been watching the videos. You were like Sheena's stepsister. Very similar in the attitude. And I know what I said when she was like, we could do it. We can make it happen. And I was like, who's the we? The only person getting anything is you. This whole we thing pisses me off. We are not speaking French. And that set her off immediately. And then she tried to say that Linda, I guess her name is. Wait, I wrote it down. It offended me, to be quite honest, that she was like, oh, she sent her roaches over here. I don't get sent anywhere. I'm giving a suggestion. I go where I want to go. What do you mean? And so I said, I'm here on my own accord. Oh, Leslie. I'm like, I don't need anybody else. Y'all know I will go in with my whole chest. And I'll tell you what I think. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like it. You don't have to think that I make any sense. That doesn't bother me. Right, Night Tiger? And then they want to tell us to mind our business. Not at all, Sandy. People keep trying to stop me, though. People keep trying to talk about me, try to embarrass me. Guess what? We're going to stay over here in our little corner and we're going to keep going. And I even said to her, I said what I said, and now go spend time with your husband. But did she? No. She kept going about needing 4 galaxies or 3 galaxies or what. I think she needed 4,500 coins or diamonds, whatever they call it. Then a friend of hers went live, invited Leslie so they could. So this is what she said. She says to Leslie, like, you're streaming me. Pull up. Get a box. So somebody on Leslie's side said to her, unblock me and I'll get a box. And before you know it, she was like, I'm not unblocking her. She's a waste of time. Girl, you was just pumping your chest. You was just saying, show up so that I could have it out with you. And then when all you had to do was unblock her, you were afraid to do so? And the rest of us are supposed to be in fear of you somehow? You can't even handle a conversation with Leslie? So a friend of hers went live and brought Leslie up. And they had it out a little bit, and then she was like, drop her, drop her. So then the friend came up and she was like, you're being messy. And she was like, you said that you wanted to talk to her, but you didn't want to block her. Nobody was being messy, but you have people convinced that you don't care about what anybody thinks, what anybody has to say, and you're a Billy Badass. And then when you get confronted, it's, oops, I did it again. I don't really want to have this conversation. And she's just like, she said, white socks. Please, buddy. They always talk big and bad until they're getting ready to get confronted by somebody that knows the real about them. And suddenly it's, I don't have time for that. I need to go spend time with my husband. Then go do that. Oh, TikTok president, we gonna get to your girl in a minute. But then, as she's getting off, she says to her chat that her husband was gonna F her, then they were gonna watch movies. Why would anybody want to know that? White Sox, you're killing him with your purr, buddy. You better wait and see if he snores. Who cares about what you and your man are gonna do? She says those things like that makes her special. At least somebody wants to do it, ma'am. It's not. It's embarrassing because the fact that that's something you need to share tells me that you have to fight for it. I say this all the time. When you have something, when it is what it is, you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to brag about it. You don't need to show it off. It just is. Anytime I see a couple go live all the time and they need to make their relationship their entire content, how many of those relationships have lasted? Or I should say, how many of them have blown up? We just had the case where the woman finally gave in to a man. She married him, and they had a huge following on TikTok. And the entire time he was cheating on her. The entire time. Then she did a video where she's like, I like to tan because I want to look like Beyonce. Never in your life, baby girl. I don't care how dark you get. Never in your life. Y'all check her out. That's her info. And you'll find that the same way that Sheena gets on your nerves, so does this one. So thank you for the recommendation, guys. She's not going to like you. And then she tried to say that she had blocked me on a digital account. No, she hadn't. Not a single one. But I let you lie to your people like that. You hadn't blocked me on Jack Diddley Squat. So, since TikTok president is here, let's talk about her girl. Now, my problem is this. Why do people continue to take care of her, knowing that taking care of her is really taking care of him? You saw it for the first time. Rose, let me tell you something. You never, ever have to say sorry. Real life, scrolling, you're an adult. You don't, please don't ever say sorry to me about that. You're an adult. Stuff happens. Right. He was in the live, and at one point, she had him thanking people for what they did. Guess what? You want to know what a real thank you would be? You walking away. She did after she went to the ER, she got back on him. I wouldn't be surprised. Twisted, did you want to come up? Okay, you have to find somewhere to go. Because you're driving me nuts, buddy. I'm sorry. Don't hit don't hit the phone. Okay. So I'm holding on to this one, so you gotta hit that one. No, me leave White Sox alone. He has plenty of places to go and be comfortable. Why he needs to be right here is beyond me. But it's like, give me some space, bro. He wants a box. He acts like it. I don't think he wants the box. I think he wants to be the host. Okay. Come right here. Lay down. Lay down. Him love me. You love me, buddy. I need for him to find some place to go. Ow. I'm trying to. Okay. There we go. I wish I would give White Sox a box. Y'all wouldn't pay attention to me at all. So this is part of what I don't understand. So you show us your neck, but yet you won't walk away. And some of us were asking her questions like, what are you doing? And let me take a step back. She's mad that people have walked away from her. Were people supposed to be afraid for you, spending their hard-earned money to get you someplace safe, just to find out that you were going to be with him anyway? How many times has she lied about not being with him for everybody to find out she was with him? And I believe TikTok president, the mod who bought her the original tent right before she left to go be with him in his town, she said she spent $300. No, she's in a hotel with him. She spent $300 and Christina walked away from all of it to go be in his town. Mind you, did she tell anybody that that's where she was going to be with him? No. She told everybody that she found a place that she could check into that would be safe for her. Over 2,000 between April and September. That is nuts. All for her to be exactly in the same exact situation with the same person. No, I don't think she got caught out. She got money when she really started panicking. And then when she got to only needing 12. Oh, I'm going to talk about her. So, no, I don't think she got kicked out. But let's stay focused on Christine. So She does this face where she makes her eyes big, like she doesn't want to be around him. But you didn't get kicked out of the program. You could have stayed, but you lied to cover for him. And then when they were like, he's out, you left. And the people in her chat are like, it's not easy to leave. Tell me something I didn't already know. But she has literally been away from him. She's been in a different city while he was with his mother. She could have stayed where she was. If she didn't want to stay in Peoria, she could have went to a completely different town. And yet, she lied, manipulated, connived her way back to where he was to get back with him. When did people start believing that hard love was horrible, but a soft touch is what was necessary? Because she has been handheld for the longest time. And yet, instead of appreciating that, she's mad that people aren't still doing it. Make it make sense. How many people want to watch you get strangled over and over and over again? Hey, Natalie. Who wants to go through that with you? That up and down. People are spending their hard-earned money to put you in a safe place just for you to be back with him. And then the other thing that kills me is she'll be like, I was in like the church program, so I haven't asked for a while. How about stop asking, period? What do you mean because you haven't asked in 3 months that gives you the right to come back and expect money? Expect hotel rooms. And then what was also funny to me was I guess there was I forgot what she called it, but it was a place where you could go get free clothes, shoes, whatever the case may be, and they got some. And she's showing her Adidas and her Adidas pants. I'm not impressed because I see the bruise on your neck and you're with the person who did it. And you still expect people who care about you to not only fund your safety, but fund his as well. And you're basically telling the people who care about you, you deal with it. Because I'm not going anywhere. She's now calling it a cult. Again. Lack of appreciation. Again. And you still want to keep supporting her? And now she's going to call who was housing her, clothing her, giving her spiritual guidance a cult? And all the people who supported her all these months through all this drama, now they're haters? But this is the thing. Why do people feel like I can watch you do something 7 times, but because now I'm involved, it'll be different? She tried to say the spot from the IV was a group from Kaden. See, this is the thing. She wants to seem as pathetic as possible so people will help. So she literally will say in front of him, yep, he choked me out. Yes, he punched me. Yes, he did this. Yes, he did that. And he's so slow. He's just standing there like, yeah, I did, but I love her. That's what she used as an excuse last night. That he tells her that he does it because he loves her. What 30-something-year-old woman would believe that? You have daughters. Would you tell them he's being you because he loves you? No, it looks like a bruise. I'm over it. I'm over kitten gloves with her because she just shows us over and over and over again that at the end of the day, how we think, how we feel about her, none of it matters. The only thing that matters is that she gets to stay with him and we continue to fund it so they can stay together. But we'll see if she goes into a shelter today or if she's back to asking for another day in the hotel. Country couple 2020-055. Who were they? I will write it down. Right, Mama Bear. Is that the couple where he's supposed to have dementia and she's really young and they split up recently? Carolyn? Right, Kelly Gibbons. It'll be something else and she'll be like, she needs money to see this provider, whatever, whatever. Okay. Honestly, TikTok president, I want him to go home to his mama and grow up. He is not equipped. Hey, MLA, good morning. Bless you. He's not equipped for the seriousness of this relationship. He's not equipped to dealing with someone who has mental health issues, who's a former addict still trying to keep herself together. He's not equipped. He's not ready. He's still trying to have a good time, as he should. He should have a little part-time job until he can get a better job, get a car, hang out with friends, meet girls in the club. Like, he needs time to grow up, and she has stunted his growth because instead of treating him like a boyfriend, she treats him like he's her kid. and and like and that's why she can't leave, because he would fall apart without her. But you're not his mother. If y'all broke up, y'all are nothing to each other, legally, spiritually, none of it. And instead of her recognizing that and finding somebody who is mature enough, she is holding on to the last vestiges of a piece of man that she can get. I don't even understand the attraction. And I don't mean physically, I just mean like intellectually, emotionally. Those things that as you get older, you need in a relationship. He has none of it. And that's okay. He shouldn't have to have it. But if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody that much younger, you need them to meet you halfway. And yet, She wants to cry, show us bruises, talk about how she needs this and that and the third. By the way, I am still working on the Tim Nash tent. And unfortunately for y'all, I can't do anything halfway. So I'm coming up with 3 tents because when I was doing the research, I felt. First of all, let me say this. You know how I talked about if I was ever going to be living in a car, in a tent, in the street, whatever, I would be living with intention. I can't tell you how many things I've found that are cheap, that for a couple of dollars would work out. So I'm working on tent level 1, tent level 2, and tent level 3. Of course, 3 being the most expensive. But we're going to have it. Depending on how this week goes, we might have it by Friday. If not, it'll be early next week. But I'm working on it. I have a sprinkler system for the inside. Let me just tell you, I don't understand why I can't just be simple. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way. So again, if it's an account, now she's block quick. Like her and her mods are block quick. But if you don't mind, just act like ask her, like, what are you thinking? And she was like, but he tells me that he loves me and that's why he does it. At 35, or however old she is in her 30s, that's what you listen to? You know how I used to say Becky needs to send her kids here for a couple of weeks? They need to come here a couple of weeks. Because for A, I would whip his ass and be like, hit another woman. And for her, it would be like, if you don't grow up, I'm going to whip your ass too. Like, what are we doing? Who needs 150? Christina? Is she live already? Asking for hotel money? Who we talking about, princess? Who wants 150? Right, Medea could fix it. This one site code, I don't understand. Christina is in a psych hold and she wants 150. Why? To put Kaden in the hotel room while she's in the hospital? I do know. A 5150. Oh, a 5150, not 150. Okay, okay, okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes I be confused. Y'all gotta help me out. Oh, I know what a 5150 is. I thought she was saying $150. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. Now, let me show you else who's back with a lot to say. And in his case, I understand why he's worried. Oh, I saw that last night, but I didn't see who it was. I just know somebody was like, I'll battle you. And it's like, really? Why? Why isn't this working? Okay, there we go. Look who's back. Their new name is Love and Cuddles. And the at is Paper Moon Angels 1330. And he was on a tirade talking about 42 million people losing food stamps. Sir, you don't care about 42 million people. You care about you and Gabby. Now, he seems to be in an apartment. I don't know if it's his or theirs. But before they looked like they were in some camper type of thing. Now they look like he's actually in an apartment. But I'm not sure, and I don't know if he's gonna come back to begging or what. But he literally has one video after the next talking about if you want to go live before you get 1,000 people, all you got to do is hit the red button right here. But of course, there's no red button, so I don't know what he's talking about. Oh no, he's not new by a long shot. He has been around for a while, and they were begging for their hotel room every single morning. So I just want to let y'all know this is the account that he's presently using. I haven't heard him beg yet, but I'm not going to say it won't happen again. Oh, he's incredibly cocky. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room. And the fact that you feel like you're the smartest person in every room you go in is a lack of humility, because you can be really smart. There's always someone smarter. You can be very pretty, but there's always going to be someone prettier. You can be tall. There's always going to be somebody else tall. So it requires that you have a level of humility, and to also feel like, especially when it comes to knowledge, that you can grow in knowledge over time. I was listening to somebody explain how um, the housing projects were started. If you don't know, I advise you to look up the history of the housing projects that are now called the Hood. Why they were created, who they were created for, and how they got them out is an amazing tale of the uniqueness of the United States. It's something I didn't know. Yeah, I remember when he would read. Oh, like, stick to running your mouth, sir. Yes, Miss Coffee. If you don't know the story, look it up. Look it up. Very unique story. Oh, are you thinking of Maxwell, or are you thinking of, goodness, how am I forget his name? I can hear his music in my head. Or are you talking about the guy from Canada? He looks like a lot of them. The Weekend. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, from Canada. You've been seeing him lately? He used to be a huge beggar on this app every day for their hotel room. Every day. But they very rarely asked for food because they were getting food stamps. So it makes sense that he would be upset about what might happen. But, I like to keep y'all informed. He hasn't. I haven't heard him beg yet, but I promise you, if you think begging is on fire now, let them food stamps not come through. And my thing is this: people like him and his girlfriend who are able-bodied adults, go get a job. My concern is the children and the elderly. People who do not have that option, who are going to be the ones screwed the most. Like, I literally laid here the other night and I was like, I'm so happy this didn't happen in the summer. At least most kids can get breakfast and lunch at school. At least. Imagine if this had happened in the summer. He's not even worth going down the rabbit hole. There are much better ones than them. But I was just letting you know that they were back along with Gabby because I like to keep y'all informed and up to date. Let's talk Tim Nash for a second. We all know what the real story is. We all know he's lying about cancer. We all know that he's begging for money and he's not using it for everything he says. We also know he has this very young girlfriend named Ellie, who, again, I don't know if it's rug brain or she was stilted in her growth, but you, oh, thank you, Sherry. Girl, you laying claim to somebody that nobody else on the planet wants means absolutely nothing to the rest of the planet. You can claim him as much as you like. We do not care. And I'm speaking for everybody. We do not care. You want him to be your man? Be my guest. We don't care. Let me say it again. Let me say it again slowly for you, L. We don't care. All right. So the other day on Saturday, oh, thank you, Candy Kisses. The other day, he was on and he showed us his foot. And he said he needed $43 to get augmentin. He also asked, I'm sorry, the augmentin with GoodRx was $43 and he needed more money for gauze. And when people were like, why didn't the hospital wrap it? He said they did, but it wore off as he walked back to camp. Thank you. Hello. Hello, Bella. Hello, Begs. So now I know why he doesn't tell us what his medication is. Because you know me. I was like, augmentin? It would be the generic one because we know he couldn't afford the regular one because he claims he has no insurance. So I was like, that sounds like a lot of money for a generic um, antibiotic that it's like somebody getting penicillin and saying they need $50. Well, April, let me show you. I looked it up using RX. Okay, so this is just using, first of all, I want you to know that I put in that this was in Cleveland, Tennessee, because I realized that depending on where you are in the country, the price could be different. Now, for this one in particular, I looked up amoxicillin potassium, which is the generic of Augmentin. And I did 875 milligrams by 125 milligrams, 20 tablets. It wasn't that deep of a cut, but I put it. And as you can see, the prices from CVS to Sam's Club. CVS was the most expensive. Sam Club's with the special savings of GoodRx was down to $11. And if you had GoodRx Gold, you could get it for $8 from Food City. Now, I'm not suggesting that he has the money for GoodRx Gold, although with all the prescriptions he claims he gets, he might as well have it. But without it, let's just use CVS. $22.22. Where'd you get $46 from, sir? Where? Wait, say a prayer for me today to hear back from a job that it's. Yes, Ashley, you know what you do? You will it into existence. You claim it as if you've already gotten it. Congratulations. So I just, because I try to be fair, I looked up the same medication, I'm sorry, but this time the dosage is 500 milligrams over 125 milligrams, same 20 tablets. If he had RX Gold, he could get it for $9.60. CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart were all similar in price. But the point is, it wasn't $46 or $43. So if that's what he's telling us for a generic, because by the way, with it being straight augmentin, it was like $600. So it had to be the generic version. I just want y'all to know that if you're going to lie about something as simple as an antibiotic, there's nothing you won't lie about. All of this money that he claims he needs for his meds are a lie. Cindy Lou, I don't know if there's Publix in Cleveland, Tennessee. Right. Yeah, Kotex won't rub off while he's walking. Right. The cut was, he kept trying to say, I'm going to show you because it's deep. And I was like, all you did was take off the top layer of the skin. All you need is some Baxtration and a Band-Aid. Duct tape to go down. Ah. Oh, you do have a Publix? Okay. Dwoozy, it says that you want to come up. Do you intend to, or were you just tapping it, ended up in here? Let me know. If anybody wants the box, you have to let me know in the comments. I like Publix too. I especially love their breaded fried chicken. Oh my goodness. Publix is amazing. Not about everything, but about that fried chicken, they know what they're doing. Yep, like their subs too. Sure do. Good morning, Disturbed One. Again, if he gave us the rest of his medications, we could do the same thing, and I guarantee you we would find out that the amount he asks for is ridiculous. Let me show you one thing though, because you know I like to those are the Tim. That's what the Tim Nash. Um, what did I call them? Spectacular tent kit. Wait, let me see. I haven't finished it. Oh, I called it the Tim Nash Superior Tent Kit. Oh, hey, you got to help the people out. I even found portable heater slash air conditioners that could go in the tent. Don't mess with me. Again, when I do something, I'm gonna be thorough. So y'all gotta give me a little time. Oh, number one is gonna come with a bucket of water. Number two is going to come with a fire extinguisher. And number three is going to have a sprinkler system. Don't worry. Yep, that's where this came from. Somebody told Christina to look for a Tim Nash tent, and that we ran from there. We ran from there. We are hilarious. I absolutely love us. So get ready, Tim, and everybody else. Who do I want to talk about next? Well, we might as well talk about her since we brought her up for a second. So, yesterday, I don't know if somebody was actually knocking on the door or next or not. She was just acting that way. But she was in what seemed like a complete panic. And I know people like to say that her father has paid for the hotel room, but he's never paid for her stuff before. So why am I supposed to believe he's paying it now? But the way she acts when they start calling tells me that she needs the money. I seriously question whether she's working, because if she was working, she'd at least be able to pay for the hotel room several days, especially since it's clear that she's not paid for her car note, which tells me, just like it was before, she's not working. What, proof that her father was paying, or proof that she got kicked out? My thing is this with her getting kicked out. She would have been on all night long if she was kicked out. That's my problem. Justice for Rick. Oh, right. There's no proof. People keep saying it, and it sounds good, but until you can show me proof that her daddy actually paid it, I don't believe it. That's why I think she's on TikTok every day. Ruru, it could have been. It could have been. There's a lot of questions about that, Brittany. She's still in the room. Yeah, see, my thing is this. If she had truly been kicked out, she would have been on. Okay, kite girl, please find it. Chill 11, what do you mean? I do too. Gamer by day, scammer by night. Yes. Oh, yeah, I know her car got repoed. She hasn't been paying it. You're not paying the car. You're not paying the room fee. What are you spending your money on if you actually had a job? Chill. So many questions. And again, you tell us the things you want us to know. Why wouldn't you just tell us that you rehomed Rick or you brought him to his vet because you were afraid? Like you could say it. If you're gonna say that you're truthful about everything, be truthful about the things that are actually important. Like, find another storyline. She usually has one by now, but right now it's all about the haters. It's all about the people streaming her. It's all about the fact that she feels like she's being stalked and all of that. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. It would make a difference. And then she was like, she finally got me kicked out. Who is she? And how could anybody get you kicked out if you were paying the money owed? Girl, you are you are on a razor's edge. And I have a feeling that it's going to get harder and harder for you to get the money. Yeah, I know. Yep, she has been on a rant. And I mean, literally, I could probably repeat it verbatim. Just like when it was her friend's mother kicked her out, we heard that story over and over, and how if Rick had gotten out, he was definitely going to protect her because his head was already out the gate. Like, she literally gets a storyline and uses it over and over and over again, especially if she gets money based on the story. Let's see, who do we have left? I'll get to Medina. I'm going to do Medina next and then Pookie last. And then we'll do the other things we do. Now, I'm sorry. I have a couple of beefs with Becky. The first one is, if you are being accurate that your husband has said that if he's not there, he's not paying the bills. You sitting on TikTok getting, let's be generous and say $5 a day battling is not going to fix your problems. But when someone suggests to you that you contact SSI and let them know what's going on and you block them, something is wrong. Something smells fishy. Because this is the thing. She talks about him being her payee and how she can't call. If he passed away, what would she do? Why are you afraid to make a phone call and just say, what are my options? I understand being afraid of change. I understand not wanting it to be what it is. But honey, you have two children and your mother to think about. You cannot bury your head in the sand and assume everything is going to work itself out. But then beef number two is that you are telling people that because he won't pay, you need help paying the bills. All for One got in there and tried to assist you. It was all resistance, so he blocked you, and then you used that as the excuse for why you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. And then beef number three is that you don't have a way to pay your bills. White socks. Can you please find somewhere to go? Yes, her mother now lives there. You want me to believe that you do not have the money to pay your bills, but you want your audience to come up with, what was it, $1,300 to take care of a 5-month-old puppy with parvo? So you're lying somewhere. But this is my thing. I need to, in this moment, take care of myself, my kids, my mom. Puppies are a dime a dozen. We can get another puppy. But what would be the point to having the puppy saved, but we don't have any place to live? Or we don't have any food in the house? Now, I'm not saying it won't be upsetting. Of course it is. When we get attached to an animal, they become a member of our family. But just like you want your mother, father, cousin, husband, wife suffering for your own selfish pleasure, why would you want a dog with parvo suffering for your own selfish gain? And then to top it off, you haven't even brought your other dogs to get checked for parvo. It doesn't just happen to babies, to puppies. It can happen to older animals exposed. Now, for somebody who doesn't work, how can he go to a friend of his and get $350, but that wasn't an option when it came to paying the bills in your house? Do you see why I say it doesn't make sense? You no longer seem concerned about the bills in the house. Now it's all about this dog. And when people were like, we need Carl's CA to send him the money, sorry guys. White Sox, sit down. You should see what he's looking at me. He's looking at me like, ma'am, you don't get to tell me what to do. Plenty, it could be. And again, they've never shown us the puppy. So they literally could walk in the door with a brand new puppy. How would we know? You had to bleach your yard. Well, we know they're not doing that. They're not even going to vacuum the floor. Like, let's be for real. And again, for somebody who acts like they don't know how to do anything, she can always refute anything we say. Oh, that's not right. That can't be. Well, that's not what I know. And she knows everything about everything, but is too stupid to do anything. Like, make it make sense. And you don't have to want to listen to me, right? I'm perceived as the op. But there are people in your chat who actually support you, support your battles, who give you advice and you refute them. So when people were like, we need his Cash App to help him, to send him the money, she's like, no, you can pay the vet directly. But okay, if we can save the dog from parvo, why can't we take the other dogs in and get their feet cut? I mean, their nails cut. Get them their vaccines. Oh, that's right. Vaccines are bad for dogs. April, Renee, and Grandma of Texas. If you want up, please put it in the chat. And my question is, why? I understand loving animals more than you love human beings. But why would you spend, no problem, honey, why would you spend your hard earned money on a puppy that's supposed to be 5 months old? Sure, a little bit. That's 5 months old, but they won't do anything to sacrifice to get it. They won't sell a TV, a PlayStation, an Xbox, the vacuum, nothing. Yeah, I know Cat is live. But Princess, if they're having people pay the vet directly, how is that a money grab for them? Like, why are y'all spending that much money to take care of a puppy and they haven't done a single thing to help out? They haven't sacrificed a single thing. They want you to pay for it. Good morning, little bit.
Good morning, Dee Dee. So I was in the live the other day when people started when they came out and said that the puppy had parvo. They took the puppy in and got it tested, and it came back positive for parvo. Everybody kept telling her, if it's parvo, you have to do this, you have to do this. And I don't ever comment in there, but I even spoke up and I was like, your other dogs can get parvo. And then she tried to say, of course, she came back, oh, no, they can't. No, they can't. It's only puppies. Honey, no. Older dogs can get parvo. And it's funny because she kept saying, my cousin works at that vet clinic. Then call your cousin. Call your cousin for the help. Why are you
Right.
asking everybody else out here? And you're not believing a word that anybody says. But it's crazy because she said that only puppies can get it because it got scratched by other puppies.
What?
That's what she first said, and that's how she first said that the puppy got parvo. That's the only way they can get it is by puppies scratching each other. What? Yeah.
That is so not true. I never had a dog with parvo, but I've watched Dr. Pol over and over and
Mm-hmm.
over again, and they're concerned about the dogs getting other dogs sick that are in their care,
Mm-hmm.
and they're treating them. They're
Yep.
quarantined, so it has nothing to do with getting scratched. It's
Yeah.
about being in the presence.
And not having the vaccination for it. But
Right.
yeah, um,
Daisy May, I believe so. It doesn't have it because there doesn't even have to be that much close contact, and they could literally go through every single dog that they're caring for by having the dog with parvo present.
Mm-hmm. And she was saying that because somebody was saying about vaccinations, about how if her older dogs had had their vaccinations, and she was like, "No, vaccinations are bad. I got one vaccinated before, and it bled out in Dave's arms."
What?
What? Yeah, she is so. She shows, and I don't mean to sound like I don't know how to sound. I don't want to sound bad when I said that when I say this, but she sounds so ignorant every time she opens up her mouth to stuff.
Yes.
And she
Wait a
um
minute. Let me add something. It's
mhm,
willful ignorance.
yes.
She has a lack of curiosity about everything,
Mhm.
unless it's related to her getting money. But even then, she wants it handed to her. She doesn't want to have to do anything. Even when she battles, she has that same blank face, and she'll be like, "Come on, guys." And if
Yeah.
somebody's from another country and she doesn't understand them, dropped. The one day the guy was rapping, and when young guys rap, they use
Mhm.
their hands and all of that, and her and her people were like, "That's weird." Why would it be weird?
It's
Because
not
it's
weird.
not what you do.
He's doing what he wants to do.
Right.
It's not weird.
It's
And she found the mute button, and she mutes everybody now.
right.
But the puppy though, um so they were on begging and begging and begging. And the crazy part is Carl was off in his room, segregating himself because she said that he was tired and that he was, upset but because of the puppy. But yet not one time, and it was even brought up in the comments. He's the one that need to be out there asking for it. It's his puppy.
Right.
And he was not one time. The only time he was out there saying anything about it was when he was yelling at the chat, cursing at the chat. I mean, just being absolutely
Disrespectful.
ridiculous.
And that's the other thing. He is
Hmm.
disrespectful to the people in her chat on a regular basis.
All the time.
And yet expects those same people to take care of his animal.
Yep. Well, so they started calling around, or he started calling around, and so did Alexander for some reason, calling his buddies saying, hey, the puppy's got parvo and this and that. Well, supposedly not Alex, but Carl had called his buddy. I guess the one that has the farm that he goes out to and helps all the
Uh-huh.
time. He
Uh-huh.
called his buddy, and his buddy, because they had to pay $800 in order for them to start
The treatment.
the treatments.
Right.
Well, his buddy supposedly came up with that $800 and paid the $800 that day so that the puppy could get the treatment started. And then they had to pay another, I want to say 13, another 600 something, 6 or 8, around $600 more in order to get the puppy out so that it can come home. But my thing is, now I haven't had an animal parvo, but I know from everything that I've heard and read on it, puppies have to be treated for at least 3 days before it can come home, because that medication definitely has to be in the system kicking in. And she said that the puppy was going to be able. Now, this was Friday night that the puppy went in. It didn't start getting treatment until Saturday morning. She said the puppy was going to come home Sunday, and then said, "Oh well, he couldn't. His friend didn't come make the payment, so he's going to do it tomorrow." So that buddy of his is going to pay another. The total of the puppy's treatment was around $1,400, and his buddy paid it. And also, oh, the vet said that we just need to watch our other dogs, and if it does, if they do get sick, then his friend is also going to pay for their treatments. I said, so I started thinking, I'm like, you got to be kidding me with this. And now she said that the puppy that the puppy supposedly got parvo from his friend's farm, which is why he was paying it, because he felt bad.
What?
Mm-hmm. That after Carl got the puppy, he had taken it to his friend's farm when he was helping him out there, and that's where he got parvo. So because his buddy felt bad about it, he was paying for the puppy's treatment and would pay for all 3 dogs if they got sick too. But she said too that she didn't do anything to clean that house. She didn't, but she's claiming she did. But except for Carl's room. Now, Carl's room was the only place, supposedly, it was only in Carl's room and outside was the only 2 places the puppy supposedly went. But she couldn't clean Carl's room because his room was a total disaster.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so there's possibility of still puppy diarrhea being in that room. And if that's the case, that puppy, there's a chance that it could probably catch it again. It's ridiculous.
I can't wait for today.
And now and now to drop this in too, her new mod and gifter. And she tried to battle her last night as well, but it's for some reason it didn't work out. Manic Panic. Now, I've seen Manic Panic in a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I've seen them in other scammers' lives.
A lot. I've seen her in here before.
Yes, I recognize that name very much.
Yep. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You're in Dee Dee's live talking about scammers. You're in other awareness groups' lives talking about scammers, and here you are, a mod and gifter.
Hold on. Good morning, Tanya. Did you mean to come up? No, I don't think so. Okay, hold on. I got somebody else that wants to come up. Come on. There's too many buttons to push.
So I was looking it up, and dogs can get parvo from eating other dogs' poop that is unvaccinated.
Yep.
Yeah, it comes mainly from animal waste is where it comes from.
Yes.
Yeah, because she made a comment that the vet, her cousin told her that if there's still diarrhea outside, then she needs to take boiling hot water outside and pour it on the poo.
Yep. Because I make sure my dog is vaccinated every time I take her anywhere.
She doesn't believe in vaccinations.
Then that pup is going to be unalive very quick. I'm sorry to say, but if you don't get your distemper, parvo, rabies, bordetella, that dog can get sick quick.
Yeah. And she didn't believe that she said the puppy was too young to have vaccinations because the puppy was 5 months old. And I was like,
no. The puppies, I usually, when they're 6 weeks old, is when you get their shots. Their first vaccination shots at 6 weeks old.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. There's no question about that. You're not supposed to be able to get them without those shots.
Exactly.
So why would that be the case?
Yeah, she's ridiculous. If every single time, because I watch her when most people won't because she's so boring. And
hey, Digital. Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Candy Love.
Hey, y'all speaking about parvo, so I had to come up. I had 2 rescue dogs that I rescued from this lady's house, and when I had them, like, they didn't have any shots. When they both came into my house, they had parvo. You could not walk outside, and with the shoes that you had outside, you cannot walk in your house in. Okay? Like, you have to clean everything, bleach everything. You cannot, the dogs have to be separate. And puppies at that age, they tend to eat their own feces. So therefore, you always have to keep dogs separate. I nursed my dogs back. One didn't survive, but the runt of the litter actually survived. And I had to bring them home. I paid over $1,300 for both of them. to be at the vet. I brought them home and had to give them IVs constantly every day for
Yeah,
7 days, and
there's
one didn't
treatments.
survive. But the biggest one, she didn't survive, but the littlest one, she survived. But it's no, you have to take care of it. You cannot wear the shoes from the outside of your house inside your house. You have to make sure your dogs stay quarantined from the dogs that have parvo. Like it's sad, but y'all, if you want an animal, please take care of your animals. These animals are just like children.
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, it's insane that she
Like I don't.
just.
That's like I have five. Well, right now I have 5 dogs. My dogs go to the vet yearly. They get their shots
Mm-hmm.
every time they're supposed to get their shots. I will not take another dog in my household. I do not let random dogs just come on my yard. I treat my yard as well. You have to treat your yard.
Exactly. And see, and people kept like Sasha, everybody kept telling them, you don't need to own animals because if you can't afford to vet them, then
Yeah.
you don't need them. If you can't afford
Exactly.
simple things as far as vaccinations, and vaccinations don't even cost that much. You can go to
Nope.
Tractor Supply and get
Mm-hmm.
vaccinations.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want her touching like that because God knows the poor animal.
Because I know
Yeah.
people in Tractor Supply, they bring their dogs to Tractor Supply.
Karina, how many cups of coffee did you have this morning, girl? Because
I only had
Lord
one.
child.
I had one, girl.
Listen, Karina is high on life. Let me tell
I'm
you.
telling you.
Hey,
She
I
ain't
do
Karina
my
got to
stays
tell
research.
lit.
you.
I
Karina
do my
stays lit.
research every
Yeah.
time, especially when it comes to dogs.
Me too. I have 5 of my own. I mean, have big
Mhm.
dogs. I have small dogs. You just have to. Right now, I have dogs that's on 2 separate dog foods because my big dog is sick. So therefore, he has to. When he gets
Yep.
fed, he goes in a room and he eats his own food because he has to take medication. So therefore, I'm not gonna make sure that he eats with the other dogs because he's on medicine. No, you have to isolate your dog. Make sure they eat. Make sure they take their medication. Just like you, when you're
Yep.
sick, what do? You take medication.
Exactly.
And
Well,
that's why I don't understand why they would add another dog to the mix.
Yeah, no.
Nobody has a job. Carl does these random, he gets paid a little bit of money here and there, but you want him. And that's the other thing. Why
Mm.
would you tell us that he has an interview at McDonald's, but you don't want to tell us no other information? Like, you live in a little town. How many McDonald's are they there? We could find it. So why
Mm.
tell us?
exactly. She's the one that completely doxes everything. Oh,
Right.
well, I live in Tennessee, but I'm not going to say where. Honey, you've already said where 1,000 times.
Oh, well.
Correct.
Everybody knows everything. But yeah, that's another thing that I didn't think so either. She lives in a trailer park.
Yes, she does. And
So
the
just like
trailer is in
Ashley,
her
Ashley
name.
just said, you can't have an animal unvaccinated on property that others live on. So
And then it's another thing. It's a truck that goes around. I don't know how periodically it goes around, but I know they do it for every state to where they offer free vaccinations for dogs, cats, or whatever wildlife animal you choose to have. They
hmm
do have a truck that goes around to different areas and they
Exactly.
get free vaccinations.
I know you can apply. I know you can apply for pet insurance for low income.
Like care credit or something like that.
no,
Yes.
they everybody was mentioning care credit when all of this was going on. She
Mm-hmm.
said that she applied for care credit one time and got turned down, and
Mm-mm.
that there's no way
No, it
that
was a mistake. Sorry.
and
Okay, no problem.
there's no way that Carl would be approved for it because he's not even working.
Exactly.
Good
And you
Oh,
have
morning,
to
that's
have
not
some kind of
everyone.
fair.
income, and he doesn't even work.
Hold
Mm.
on. Good
Hey,
morning, Barry.
real quick, everybody, I'll ask this question and I'll drop. Good morning, first of all. Has anyone seen an actual dog? A
I've
No,
never
puppy?
seen
No.
her older
No.
I'm
dog.
telling you, this is a money grab. She's taking an
No.
old situation and using it.
I'm thinking so too.
Same here.
That's crazy.
But it
That's it.
doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
That's
It's
how I know.
her husband. Her husband is still at a friend's house because he's not allowed to be at the house because
Right,
of
because
the
this is his
protection order.
fourth offense.
But I'm telling
And
you,
I
he was.
also read on Reddit that he's still in jail, that he never got bailed out.
Well, my
Wow.
thing is, um, I swear to God, if he did get bonded out, he was there the other day.
Well, you know, everything on Reddit's hearsay, and I looked and looked and looked. I know where they are. I couldn't find where he was in.
I couldn't.
So,
They don't report when they get out and stuff. The only thing I could find was his next court dates.
yeah,
I
me
couldn't
too.
Yeah.
find. They don't report like who's in their local jail or sheriff's office.
Okay, I'm gonna drop. I just wanted to say that. Y'all have a good
Oh,
morning. But yeah, I don't
okay.
I don't think there ever was a puppy. I'm thinking she's taking an old situation and recycling it for money because he's not around and she needs it. Makes total
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But how's she
Mm-hmm.
gonna say dog lover? She's not a dog lover. She needs to train.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's not a dog. She's not a dog lover because if she was, she would have known how to take care of her dogs properly and safely.
Right.
I'm sorry to say because I'm Candy. You know me. Me and you. We talked about my dog and.
Mm-hmm. And I don't play when it comes to mine. My dogs have dresses, shoes, pampers, anything they need. They get the best dog food, everything, toys. I take care of my dogs because they are my children. My son is grown, but right now
Exactly.
these are my babies. I still have my
Absolutely.
grown baby, but these are my babies.
But yeah, talking about Dave though, he has to be out because in that live when they first started talking about the puppy, Alexander slipped and said that his dad was there.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
I do believe he is out because she kept looking over to the side, over to one side more than she normally ever does, and telling you, I think he was there. He
Um,
may not have been spending the night, but he was there.
Digital, somebody named Suze is asking for a box.
Okay, hold on.
Darlene, not necessarily because he knows that he would get in major trouble. He'd end up back in jail with no bond if we heard his big mouth. But I know I heard his video game. That's why I knew he was there because
I
of that
want to just
stupid
point
game.
this out. He has a charge because he had no contact terms and he violated the no contact provision.
Mm-hmm.
So he was already not supposed to be there because, as you can see up at the top, it says domestic abuse, simple assault, attempt to put another in fear of bodily harm, fourth offense.
Yep.
He's done this before 3 other times. And because it's more than the third time, they added number 99, which is third or subsequent offense.
Mm-hmm.
So he was already supposed to not be there. And now they've charged him with being there. And so that tells me that he has absolutely no problem violating it. So I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't let him there some part of the day.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a rat's behind about following the law. He doesn't care. And she has even said multiple times because when people bring up the fact about Carl not having his driver's license, but yet he drives, they've made the comment more than once, oh, the cops there know them, so it's okay.
Right.
They don't care.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No problem. Good morning.
Good morning. I just have a couple things. One, if that man was there, he could not keep his mouth shut. That's my first thing. So I don't think he's there. Two, somebody just brought up the point about not having the driver's license. And now we're talking about him driving to the vet, driving to the job interview. Why is he not getting in trouble for that? And then three, my biggest thing is, why is Alexander not in school?
Because she claims that she doesn't have a way to get him there. But Carl can drive everywhere else.
Carl can drive?
No,
Right.
her mom can drive too.
Yeah, I'm dropping. So that's that. Those are just the three things that just we have money to pay for. I understand this alleged puppy, but because nobody's seen the puppy, but we're not worried about the youngest kid going to school.
At all. Let me explain because I can see a couple people have questions. So the car runs, it didn't have air conditioning. So now that doesn't matter. And they put him in a school out of town and claim that they will not pick him up because they made the choice to put him there. So there's no bus that will come and get him. No school bus. There aren't regular buses there. It's a small place. So that's why. But my thing is this, I realize he can't be in the house, but if he's out and he has his car, why can't he come pick up Alexander and bring him to school?
Yeah, he's just not supposed to be around Becky.
Right. But if he stopped at the beginning of the car of the trailer park and brought and car Alexander walked out to it, that wouldn't be a problem.
It shouldn't be. But they're going to use it as oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. That's what she wants to use it as. Well, I can't do anything because Dave's not here and he's the only one that did this and he's the only one that did that, and it's all a sympathy, an attempted a sympathy grab for her.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna leave Becky there. Thank you guys for coming up. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go on to the other folks.
You're
I
welcome, Dee
appreciate
Dee.
you guys. Thank you so much. All right. Wrong phone. Oh, I don't even need this phone anymore because I'm over it. Okay. Let's talk Medina. You too, Granny Annie. So, didn't I say I was going to end early? Yes, please tap, tap, tap. We've changed the photo. So, I'm going to start with Medina on. Wait a minute. Let me see. Sunday morning, Medina goes live and tells this horrific story. So remember, Claudia got out of the hospital. Her mom came and got her and brought her back to Houston. Somebody in Florida offered Claudia what sounded like too good to be true situation, but Claudia did not want her that far away, so she didn't want to be that far away. So instead, she went to San Marcos, saying that they had a shelter there with beds. She would get there, she would be good. She gets there and then claims that they don't have any beds for her, that she has to fill out paperwork to see if she's qualified. Now, you want me to believe that she told them that she was coming there and they didn't tell her that at the time? I don't believe it. But then when she gets there, she meets up with some lady, and I'm not even sure how she met the lady, where the lady came from, but she moved in there, and the lady had expectations. Yes, you did. So she gets there and she's like, the lady has her moving this, that, and the third, which she was cool with. But then the woman wanted her to move some king size bed frames, and she was like, I can't do it. So the woman caught an attitude. And then she said the woman didn't want her talking to Claudia, didn't want her on TikTok, but wanted her to read the Bible. And she was like, I'm not no Bible thumper. You see, she wanted the convenience of staying with the woman so she wouldn't have to do anything for real for herself. But she didn't bother to find out the details. They never do. It sounds to me like this was a religious woman and she has feelings about LGBTQIA relationships and social media. But you just went in there, right, but then said that the woman was all about trees, was, had a blunt in her hand and was drinking and this, that, and the third. That woman takes care of herself. You can complain about her decisions in life, but she was helping you out. So, of course, she couldn't stay there under them circumstances. She couldn't live without talking to Claudia. So they decided she would go back to Houston. Now, understand something. Houston is where they were. And they went place to place to place to place until they got to Corpus. And that was supposed to be the start of their life. Well, it didn't work. So now she's in a hotel room. She comes on in the morning yesterday and says, she tells the story about the woman, and then she's like, I'm in the hotel room. Claudia paid for last night and tonight. Excuse me. And my question is, where's Claudia getting this money from? You don't want her in Corpus? Where does Claudia keep getting money from? Because if you recall, Claudia always had her half. It was Medina always trying to get her half. And where is her Social Security? Now, let me say this. I was thinking about it, and she was saying that it was coming on the last day of the month. If I'm not mistaken, Social Security disability SSI is paid the first or the third. SSDI is paid, depending on your birthday, the first, second, or third Wednesday of the month. There's no last day of the month for Social Security, which makes me feel like that's not what it is, that it is in fact a payment she receives from her wife's life insurance or something like that. Well, I heard her say the last day of the month. But again, we're talking about a liar, so she's going to say whatever is convenient. Right. Well, some SSDI is on the third, but it's usually straight SSI is the first or the third. Because the first is on a Saturday. Oh, because the first is a Saturday. Okay, I got it. It's all over the place. I guess it depends on the circumstances. Anyway, she gets money every month, but she's always asking us for money. So she said Claudia paid for Saturday night and Sunday night, and she just needed $48 to get a bus ticket to Houston. That's all she needed. While she is live, there's a knock on the door. You can hear her talking to somebody, but you can't hear it closely. But then she comes back and shows everybody a $100 bill and says, "Can I buy a bus ticket with cash?" I told her to Google it. Right, exactly, Harley Ryder. How many bus tickets are y'all going to pay for? But anyway, she went on about this long diatribe about how the man been where she is and he doesn't want her to give up. What, I don't care what he said. She got $100. And yes, you can buy a bus ticket with cash. Cool. No problem. And then Medina comes on later and says, "I need the $48 for the bus." Excuse me, what? Mind you, she is still wearing that same nasty shirt. Did anybody see her wipe her nose with it? It was disgusting. Hey, Trolla. It was disgusting. What's up with this co-hosting thing? Anyway, so I got blocked because I said, "Who was in the live this morning?" What'd you block me for? The person who said they were in there didn't get blocked. But as you know, blocking me is symbolic. I'm always going to be able to watch. And somebody said, "Well, you spent $92 today?" And Claudia was like, the hotel room was $70 and DoorDash, and she DoorDashed food that was almost $30. Well, Claudia, you paid for the room. She told us that. You weren't there because you were still sleeping at that point. Somebody said con artist. I agree 100%. She just wanted more money, or she spent it on what she really wanted to spend it on, like snow falling from the sky, and now she needs the money. This is what was crazy though. Had she, because at one point she's like, "It needs to be on the card," and before I could say anything, she didn't say that again because she knew people could look that up and that was a lie. So she didn't bring that up again. She just said she needed the money. Well, lo and behold, in the middle of it all, Claudia looks it up and the price went up to 70 something. And she's like, "See, guys, I really need it. Y'all could buy the bus ticket. Y'all don't have to send me the money. This isn't a money grab. I just need to get back to Houston." Well, some woman said to her, like, "Are you single? Because I could take care of you." And she's like, "No, no, I got a wife," goes off on the woman. And the woman was like, "Hey, sorry, I mean no disrespect." Well, Claudia was modding for Medina at that time. And Claudia wasn't happy about it because Medina didn't block the person. So Medina gets off and comes back, and now she's crying and wiping her nose on the inside of the t-shirt she's been wearing for weeks. Let me just tell you something. If that was me, my mother would have me in the tub with soap, washing it and hanging it up. If you're going to be in it every day, at least do the decent thing and wash it early so that it can be dry by the next morning. Oh, she also claimed that she spent almost $30 for shampoo and soap, etc. Why? Why you spend that much? So she comes back crying because Claudia has said she's not going to be with her until she gets a car. So she's staying at her parents' house. And she's like, Claudia is playing with me. And you know what I thought? No, you're playing with the chat. How many times have Claudia and her broken up as a money grab? I agree. And she was in a hotel room, so she could have went and got toilet paper. But I'm sure they had some sort of tissue in there as well. Medina, I don't believe a single thing. Because I watched you get that $100. And again, if you need money for a ticket and you want a particular ticket, why would you spend that money on food? At least that much. You want to get back to Houston, right? But again, they don't have to worry about prioritizing because they can just continue to beg for the money. And I think that the beg of Claudia's not going to be there was just to try to get extra assistance. But at the end of the day, you can try to play in people's faces and lie. But we got you, boo. We're watching. And we're watching all of the time. Not just one live or two lives. We're watching it all. Hello, Marianne. Welcome in. So the whole you need to lie about your nonsense, we're not going for it. And I'm going to call you out every chance I get. As I say, the grid is always open for people who want to take advantage of others. That is why I do what I do. I don't do it for popularity. I don't do it for numbers. I don't do it for gifts. I do it because I think about the fact that my parents would have been taken advantage of, my father in particular. And I wouldn't want it to happen to them. So I wouldn't want it to happen to you or any of your family members. The time is to stop. The time to stop is now. But I know you're not. So neither am I. I'm going to set this warning out like I always do. You want me to stop talking about you? Stop doing what you're doing. Hey, Grandma. Correct. Now, what I have to say about her, about Pookie, is brief. Many of you might have been in the live the other night where she promised not to beg anymore, that she had lied, that she did not need to beg. She was just doing it to see how much she could get. Cat's live goal is 100 TikTok universes. Let's see if you get it. And I made it clear in the comments, you told me that you weren't going to beg anymore, and you not only continued to beg, you accelerated. So until I see a consistent stop, that is when I will put you away. But this is what she said. So she went live right after that live, and something told me to watch. So she first is like, I have a big announcement to make. I have a big announcement to make. And I'm like, okay. So the first announcement she actually made and then came back from it was, I'm going to be getting rid of some of my mods. Why? Why is that the first announcement? Then she says, I'm not going to ask for any more money. I'm not going to beg for any more money. I know that I have in the past, but I don't really need the money. I can get all my things myself. I'm going to take the Amazon wish list down. And people were like, I'm so proud of you. You're so brave and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, I don't need the money. And then she said this. I will go to churches or food banks when I need food. Does that sound like somebody in need? Because you saying that is refuting the sentence you said right before, that you didn't need it. And the people who support you already have your PayPal. So all you gotta say is, I'm heading to the food bank, or I'm calling a church to see if they have resources. And the people who truly know you already know. I see right through you, Pookie. You can lie and get in any box and say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Unless you want to stop. Nobody on this app is going to tell me who I can and cannot talk about, who I can and cannot cover. And since I don't believe a single word of what you said, I am going to continue to watch. And the fact that you had to let people know that you need to go to churches or food banks tells me that that is what you're going to use on a regular basis. I don't care. When you stop, I stop. What do you mean, pretty vibes? What do you mean? What do I mean? I thought that was incredibly clear. I'm going to do what I do over here, which is why I turned my light on. Pretty vibes, this is the thing. She said she was only asking for money and she didn't need it. She was doing it just to see if she could get money. But then said, when I need food, I'm going to go to food banks and churches, like to use resources instead of getting on TikTok and begging. That tells everybody she does need help with food. And since they already know her payment apps, the moment she says, "Oh, I'm going to have to go to the food bank or whatever church, I'm going to have to call churches," they already know how to help her. She doesn't have to ask. Co- Correct, Daisy May. Susie Q, exactly. And I don't play that. You've already lied to me. So I don't believe it. I don't care who you tell what to. You've already lied to me. That's enough for me. I don't care who you talk to after that. Of course it's Section 8 she's in. She's in some rent assistance program because she works part-time at a fast food restaurant. Who can afford rent on a part-time job at a fast food restaurant? Again, you're lying. Yes, she said it wasn't Section 8 and it wasn't rental assistance. So I don't want to hear it. So that's all I have to say on that. You keep doing what you're doing, Pookie, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, let's get to the good stuff. First, we're going to do the affirmation motivations. I forgive the mistakes of others. Why is that important? There's a twofold reason. The forgiveness of the person isn't saying that they didn't do anything wrong. The forgiveness isn't for them. The forgiveness is for yourself, so you can let it go. If I choose to hold on to it, it is holding up space in my brain. It is affecting my emotional regulation. It is disturbing my peace. And the second part is that if I can't forgive anybody else, then I can't forgive myself for my mistakes. That's the second half of this, which is equally as important. Everybody makes mistakes. Forgiving yourself is harder than forgiving somebody else. But if you can't forgive somebody else, you can't forgive yourself. You're going to take it with you through life. I'm going to give y'all a story. So I was young. I was on my very first cruise. And my husband and I decided we weren't going to go to dinner. We were going to get room service. And at that time, I ate a lot of boxed cereal. So we ordered, and at that time on a cruise ship, you could order whatever was on the menu for that night. So we ordered multiple meals, multiple desserts, and of course, I wanted cereal. I used to eat it at night before bed. No milk, just straight out the package. I think it was either Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops at the time. I was like 22 years old. And after everything was said and done, I realized they didn't give me the cereal. So this is when I was trying to learn how to be assertive. And my husband was like, I'll call. And I was like, no, I'm going to call. So I call and I say, everything was great except I didn't get the cereal. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, do you want it? And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not going to need it for tonight. But do not charge us for it. I don't want to be charged for it. And he said, ma'am, the food is included in the price of the cruise. I felt smaller than a pea. It took me 20 years to get over that. 20 years. It still nudges me in the side as I talk about it now. But it took me 20 years to forgive the mistake I did at 22. Because I couldn't let it go that I was that dumb. I knew the food was included, but I was so busy trying to be assertive, I forgot what made sense and what didn't. So it nagged at me over and over and over again. And I finally said, I gotta forgive myself. It was just a mistake. You're holding on to something that doesn't even matter. The gentleman you spoke to won't remember you by the time the cruise is over. So why am I holding on to it? It was disturbing my peace. So forgive others, because that's actually easier. And when you get in the habit of forgiving others and being able to let it go, you can then say, you know what? If I could forgive others, I need to forgive myself. That's thing one. Oh, thank you a little bit. Thing two. Self-care is essential. We're going to go through today's. So for one, is to check into your emotions. You can do it in a minute. If you have an Apple phone and the health app, you actually can go in 3 times a day. You can do how you wake up, how you feel in the middle of the day, and then it gives you the option of an overall, how did the day go? But that's something called a feelings thermometer. Look it up. It will help you. The next thing is to read the first page of a book. You only have to do it for 1 minute. It could be a romance novel, a thriller, a crime. It could be an autobiography. It could be nonfiction. It could be poetry. Whatever floats your boat. Instead of looking at the entire book and thinking, I'm never going to go through that, just read the first page. I love guided meditations as well. The next one is set an intention for the day. And this is a list of daily intentions. And if you're not sure how to set it, there's actually a thing that will show you how to set your intentions. And then finally, just take a moment and look out the window. See your surroundings. A little bit sometimes, my daily intention is to get up and do something. Whatever works for you. But look out the window. And sometimes looking out the window gives you a different perspective. When we stay within ourselves, we regurgitate the good, the bad, and the ugly over and over and over again. You know how they say touch grass? Some people aren't capable of touching grass. So look out the window and realize that the world is moving whether you are moving in it or not. And that all of us, our days are numbered. We don't know when it will be our turn to pass on from the living. So live every day. And I know that it is hard. So just start by looking out the window. You have no idea the wonders that could give. So that is it for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate you. I love how when I'm not talking about the drama, the numbers drop a great deal. Like we were at 400 and now we're at 236. I want you all to have a wonderful day. It's a Monday. Try some of it. I need to start posting these on my platform. Thank you, Chill. I appreciate the people who stick around. It tells me that you actually appreciate me and not just what I talk about. So have a great day. If I don't see you in the streets, Lord willing, I will see you Wednesday morning. Yes, everybody be safe. And I'm going to end today with this. Echo, play Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar on Amazon Music.